All right, here we are. Another day. Another day. Still chilly, man. This has been one cold June so far. I think I mentioned it earlier. All the grass was brown and dead this time last year, and it was super, super hot. And we'd had the pool all filled with water and ready to go this time a week earlier than now last year. Doesn't bother me though. Anyway, what am I going to share today? So the man who was going to come on here and have a conversation with me to possibly share with you guys, he decided he doesn't want to be recorded, which is fine by me. What I might do is I may tack on, I believe I used an email from him in the past, and I thought it was an important email for everyone to hear, a message when it comes to this topic. Maybe I'll put that at the end of this video, and that is who I was going to have on here. But anyway, I don't need people to come on here. Like I don't need I don't need to do anything different or attractive in a way on this channel. I just don't. I just want to know what the F's going on. That's it. I want to know what's up, what's going on, and share it with all the people who want to know as well. That's it. Right? That's it. So, I emailed him back last night. I just caught his email when I was in bed. I woke up and couldn't fall asleep, checking some emails, and he explained a few things. But apparently he has learned a lot since that upright, hairy, hair-covered man literally had picked him up and looked at him in the face as a child. And he said that I guess he went and did some work with a shaman, if you will, in a different on a different continent on the planet. And he said that he finally has lost his, what he calls, a tag from these people, these beings. And that's a little concerning to me. We've all heard that numerous times from a lot of people around the globe about this tagging thing. But I think I'll have to talk to him again, which I will. He might even come up here, maybe hang out and talk face to face, and then I'll absorb all the information I can from him, and I'll share with you guys the important stuff that may help a lot of you and me at the same time. I'm not sure yet how it was that he became, quote, tagged. I don't know how that went down, and that's of an interest to me, because I would like to know. Right? I've been successfully still going to all of my remote places, a lot of the time solo this past few years, and I always get a handful of odd things happen a year, but nothing alarming and terrorizing, and nothing happening in my private space so far. So as I am encroaching, getting very near my time that I'm going to go in and just do it. Go in unarmed, no recording, no nothing, no bullshit. No potentially looking like I'm trying to pull something over somebody's eyes, which I'm not, and I'm just gonna go do it. But I should probably talk to this man first, because I believe what he has learned to be legitimate. So if he has any strong warnings for me, or if he has any significant episodes that happened to him along the ride, I want to learn about it. I want to learn. That's the only way I'm going to learn, is from all the people, right? So, and I believe what he has learned is absolutely legitimate. So there. Now, what else? Our friend Darren had something really freaking weird happen again in the same area where I am more than likely going to go. And one of his viewers on his channel, which he loves to film his walks in the woods and the outdoors, he's not trying to get videos of Sasquatch or anything else. He's just out there sharing the real world with people online, and somebody pointed something out that went down behind him. And he sent it to me. So I zoomed in and played it again, and it's just odd. I mean, I'm not sure. He might even be stopping by here today, because I'm not sure what he's filming with. Maybe his iPhone on one of those camera sticks or something. I'm not sure. but we'll find out. So let's have a look at this together. Are you ready? And I saw the original. So this wasn't. Sometimes I've had a lot of people. Not a lot. I've had some challenged individuals that seem to have wanted to send me screenshots of my own video footage from the outdoors, and I've seen that they have inserted something to make it look like there's something behind me and sent it to me in a screenshot. Why? I haven't a frickin' clue. Obviously a few marbles short of a full bag, right? So knowing that's happened to me a handful of times, I went on to Darren's channel, I looked at the original video. Nope, sure enough. What was pointed out by one of his viewers was in his original video. So, let's have a look at this together, shall we? Shall we? Here we go.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on with my videos is...
Here we go.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on with my
videos. Watch over his right shoulder.
Is kind of like self-sustainability.
Hold on a minute. I'm going to rewind that. Watch over his right shoulder.
So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on with my videos is kind of like self-sustainability. I use that word a lot now. Looking after yourself. And to be quite honest with you all, the number one part of looking after yourself is right here. Looking after the brain. You got to be in a good state of mind, and you know, do the shit you want to do and get out and enjoy the shit you enjoy doing. And that's why I come out and do this stuff as much as I can, because so yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on with my videos is kind of like self-sustainability. I use that word a lot now. Looking after yourself. And to be quite honest with you all, the number one part of looking after yourself is right here. Looking after the brain. You got to be in a good state of mind, and you know, do the shit you want to do and get out and enjoy the shit you enjoy doing. And that's why I come out and do this stuff as much as I can, because...
What was that? Do I know? Haven't a clue. It almost at first looks like it was put on top of the original video. I haven't a clue. We'd have to get one of those experts to find out. But do I think Darren would do that? No. I don't know. You know, that one cedar limb that is closest to the back of his head, whatever that was, it overlapped that limb as well at one point. So that's kind of weird. That's what tends to make me, it appears to be layered on top. But I don't think obviously Darren didn't do this. And how does your video camera do that? I mean, let's face it, I've been videotaping for over 20, I've been recording with various cameras for over 20 years, 25, 30 years. Wow. And I've never seen anything like that in my life show up on top of a video clip, ever. We'll usually have some kind of weird distortion when the camera's screwing up, but it's never like that. Anyway, there you go. That was an odd thing that Darren texted me yesterday, I believe. Take from what you will or leave it. Maybe somebody's seen something similar. I don't know. But it's one thing for certain is there's no shortage of odd shit happening to Darren out in his one of his favorite places, right? Crazy. Weird. Very weird. Definitely wasn't a monkey or a gorilla, was it? Now, let's get some more people heard. So many. So many. Isn't it amazing? All right. What is this titled? This is titled New Zealand Puzzle Pieces. We have had definitely a good solid handful of people in New Zealand who have seen what is described as an upright, hairy, large, non-human being as well, including a police officer. Not that that makes any difference to me. I guess I'm just noting. Whatever. But police officers are usually trained in detail, catching detail on short glimpses, right? Not that they are any different than us as human beings. Most of the time. Greetings, Steve from Down Under. I would like to convey information on Sabe gleaned from two different sources. It is somewhat surprising that nobody seems to have touched on either of these here at the club. Let's start by giving our puzzle a nice rub down and shiatsu, because they will be bent backwards shortly. Huh? All right. Firstly, is information provided by RA, R-A, to 3 suitably resonant researchers during the 106 sessions between 1981 and 1983. The RA contact used tuned trance telepathy and was recorded and transcribed word for word. And yes, these beings are the same Ra, R-A, that have appeared to humanity on several occasions, including during the 18th Egyptian dynasty. The Ra material, that's capital R with an A, material, teaches the law of one, as echoed by many First Nations peoples. It is a message of oneness and unity. I cannot stress enough the importance of these transcripts. The information therein is paramount to us understanding the nature of our reality and of our social development as a species going forward. Please consider reading the Law of One. Sabe was mentioned in these contacts. Ra stated that there are 3 types of these beings on Earth. Quote, one is the entities from the planetary complex you call Maldek. End quote. They were transferred here 500,000 years ago after destroying their planet. I've heard this before. The remains of which we now see as our asteroid belt. Quote, they dwell within your deeper underground passageways, end quote, undergoing a self-imposed form of karmic restitution for their bellicose behavior. The second type is being offered a dwelling on Earth in a type of body that is being held in reserve to form a gene pool of appropriately engineered physical vehicles in the event of a nuclear war. These body complexes are greatly available to withstand the rigors of radiation, which the body complexes which the body complexes you now inhabit could not do. These body complexes of the second race dwell in uninhabited deep forest all over the surface of the planet. They are scarce and very able to escape detection. These entities of the glowing eyes are those most familiar to your peoples. The third type is a thought form. They have 4 toes. No further information is given on this type. The concept of thought forms is confusing for us. To paraphrase Ra, it is best described as an object literally being thought into existence by an advanced dance between mental ability and the intelligent fabric of matter. Ra stated that it was they who created, as a thought form, the Great Pyramid at Giza. The reason given for why it is made from individual blocks and not in one piece is as follows. They did not want us to look upon it as miraculous and consequently for them to be worshipped in any way. Thus it appears to be made, not thought. This is getting pretty heavy. So pack your collective pipes and take a big hit off of that. Haha. Secondly, I'll touch on snippets of interviews from a show called Cosmic Disclosure. These are individuals who are coming forward to disclose our human secret space programs and their parts in them. If anyone's looking for answers, this is top notch. Some of these men have security clearances 35 levels above the US president. Well, I don't think that's too much to brag about today. I think today's US president probably shits his pants about 6 times a day. I can't really make a full sentence. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Randy Kramer is an independent field commander for the U.S. Marine Corps Special Section. This is their space program. He is, interestingly, the sanctioned public relations representative for their disclosure program. Randy states that he has seen Sabe 3 times in the wild. His understanding, by way of classified documents and briefings, is that Sabe has been on Earth for over 400,000 years. They originate off-planet, are highly intelligent and highly psionic, have the ability to phase in and out at will, have a sense of humor, and love to laugh and joke around. Footprints are consciously left, and sightings are mostly conscious on their behalf. They have the ability to send large thumps through the ground, like an elephant. If they get sick, they cannot teletransport and get lost or left behind on many planets. They are very adaptable, like solitude, and mate once in their lifetime. These are some pretty bold statements, aren't they? Emery Smith has worked in underground labs for many compartmentalized corporate programs. His role has been largely related to tissue sampling and autopsies. Emery saw an 8-foot white sabe in Florida as a child while camping. He has only seen a dead one in the labs, although stated that they are cataloged as being on these bases. They have a way to trace natural portals and will travel vast distances to do so. They will never go through a city and are not allowed to harm or interact with humans. Well, there's a lot of law breaking going on in that department. Interacting, I mean. They are here to gather data and DNA from all living species to catalog Earth's biosphere and posterity. They can teletransport at will, are the lowest maintenance ET, and work with inner Earth beings. 2 final points, Steve. 1, several people from these secret space programs have mentioned that telepathy is the predominant form of communication in the galaxy. Human ability is that of a child in this area, although our potential is very great. Number 2, Ra has appeared to a delegation of humans at the Lunar Operations Command in very recent times to answer questions. Also, Ra, or a close ally, uses small blue orbs to contact and transport people who are helping them in various ways. Take from what you will, there are lots of switches turning on for me with this stuff. Best regards, Steve, and all in the clubhouse. Use my name, Kane, coming from the rainforests in Westland, New Zealand. Well, there you go. Take from what you will or leave it. There's a lot of familiar statements in that one that I've heard numerous times. Have I read the log one? Not yet. I've had it suggested to me about a kabillion times, though. I guess I'll have to order it and start reading up. There's going to be a lot of people that would hear maybe get 1/4 of that email and go, oh God, here we go. But the people that do roll their eyes, you got to wonder. When we hear, while we are gathering our information, which is obviously pointing to be right out there, but there's no other way for it to go as our minds perceive it. When people roll their eyes in frustration or doubt, well, if you're going to roll your eyes at somebody sharing some information that you can't wrap your bean around, then while you're rolling your eyes, what is it you are wishing you're going to hear then? Do you know what I mean? That's another angle to look at it to the people who roll their eyes, and no matter what's coming out from the people rolling their eyes, well, if you're rolling your eyes, then you're not hearing what you want to hear, right? So maybe share with us what you want to hear. Right? You can't do that if you really want to move forward in life and learn truth. You can't roll your eyes and shake your head. If you are, I believe you are just, well, you're stopped dead. You stop dead. You're showing the world that you can't go any further. So you're going to roll your eyes and you're going to hit that speed bump and not go over top of it. But at the same time, because I'm curious about how the human mind works, I would like to know exactly what it is you want to hear then, while you're here listening to testimonies of literally tens of thousands of people. Testimonies that a lot of people don't want to hear, don't want to accept the facts of what these people have experienced. So tell us what you want to hear then. Right? We never look at it from that direction. People are looking for answers, but, well, I wasn't looking for that answer. Oh, you weren't? What is it you want to hear then that you don't know? Make any sense? I guess I'm trying to give people a little bit of a spanking and say, hey, quit shaking your head. You better start listening and take from it what you will or leave it and start putting your puzzle together in an honest way, even if it's absolutely outrageous. Because the answer is outrageous. The truth is outrageous. That's all there is to it. And if you keep shaking your head, you're going to form some kind of whiplash in your neck. Whatever. Sorry. I hope everybody accepts by now that our reality, our truth, the truth of all this shit, is going to be what we have been programmed to see as absolutely outrageous. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Or you can just go stare at dermal ridges and mid-tarsal breaks for the next 20 years, and if that makes you content, and that helps you... Okay, I'll bite my lip. What do we got? Have I read this? No, I haven't. That's another chapter. Okay, hold on a minute. What's this? This is titled Possible Puzzle Piece? Maybe. Part 2, question mark, in brackets. That's a different type of title. Hey Steve, I'm the one who wrote to you recently regarding hair, and how hair throughout many belief systems was very significant and held an energy of sorts, and was responsible for honing abilities, raising the level of our senses, etc. I think it's pretty well been proven that that's true. For me anyway. Now the other day, you're talking with Nino, telling him about the scientist that had the sabe hair in a petri dish, and when he manipulated the follicle and put energy to it, the hair became translucent. Then you spoke about how they can disappear behind an 8-inch wide tree. What the F, right? Right? So I set out searching for a connection. And, well, trees put out electrical energy. Apparently enough energy because scientists have been experimenting with trees and can get enough power to run an electric circuit using tree power. Actually seen him do it with 3 potatoes. So, in order to cloak, are the sabe tapping into this electrical energy by using trees as their power source somehow in order to activate the cloaking process? Just another thought, but I feel like it is also connected somehow. I'm enclosing the link to an article regarding the experiments currently going on regarding trees and the energy they produce. So that's in www.livescience.com/electricity harvested trees. Okay, there we go. Keeping this short, just dropping another possible lead to our next puzzle piece. Thanks again, Steve. Keep up the awesome job. You definitely have my wheels turning. Michelle Milano. Good. Keep those suckers turning. Everybody, please. We need everybody to attempt to figure this shit out at the same time. It'll get all of us ahead faster. But I think we're coming to a head pretty quick. Myself, my gut's telling me that we're coming to a head pretty quick. I am anyway. All right, what's this one? This is titled Questions on the Sabe People. Hey Steve, Robbie Martin here again. I've heard you mention the mungy salmon, the sabe we're collecting from the river, of rotten carcasses. I've heard them gifting wild onions and flowers. What do you think of them cultivating their own gardens in the safe places we can never get to? Maybe for fertilizer? They have given knowledge of getting salmon from sandy beaches because the water is clean from natural sand filtration. That was to help a spoiled crop. If these beings are that in tune with their and our environment in the real world, I could see them using old fish for their gardens. They can't just be stealing all their needs. I believe they are more than capable, so why not? What do you think? Getting past the dogman thing, which I believe are just here to learn and entertain. Getting past the dogman thing, which I believe are just here to learn and entertainment for them. Kind of a Hunger Games things. I've listened to hundreds of eyewitness accounts of dogman encounters and learned from that a lot, like the knowledge I've acquired from the roundtable here. The host, when asked about their intentions and aggressive behavior, has said in 1,000 accounts, maybe 6 times, has there been violence on humans from dogmen. I believe they are not here to hurt us. It was explained. Like a dog on the beach chasing a bunch of birds away. The dog is having fun, not wanting to eat them. But to the birds, they are scared as shit and think a big monster is going to annihilate them. We are like the birds. Well, I know every dog I've ever seen that catches the chicken kills it. But you never know. Sorry. I know if one of those things is staring you down in the woods, I don't doubt you would put a hole in its head. But I will bet you they will sense your intentions and stay away. They F with easier prey. That's probably why you won't have a negative encounter. Plus, I feel you are very protected. You are valued by the Sabe for what you are doing here. I think they may be looking for ambassadors in that way, like yourself and Darren, to pass on that they are people, not monsters. To what end, I don't know. Just like Rich Jameau says, some sort of energy exchange, maybe? Well, we have to see. I'm out here listening, learning, and taking what I need and leaving the rest. Keep it up. Thank you, Robbie. Right on, man. That makes me happy. You saying that you're taking what you need and leaving the rest. It's great. That makes this machine move forward smoothly. What do I think about them growing gardens myself? If I had to give a definite answer just for me, obviously I never dictate to anybody. No. For me, nope. Now you got to think, if they had to grow a garden to survive on food, we're talking 8 to 10 to 14 foot tall human-like beings. You know how much that is in a garden to feed? Holy shit, I mean, our garden's big enough. So, on that note, they're going to have a lot of fertilizer, right? A lot of everything. And they're going to have to manufacture something like a woven bag or whatever to carry all this shit in. How many times have we seen them carrying garden supplies? Never. On a large scale for a garden to feed a group of these people. Never. And furthermore, for them to remain as hidden as they are, they're not throwing down a great big vegetable garden out there anywhere. It's just like people attempting to have huge outdoor grow ops here. People run into them all the time, right? You can't hide them. You can somewhat hide them and get away with it for a while, but somebody eventually finds it. I think that would be too big of a physical footprint on the face of the planet, showing directly where you go all the time, and that this is your special place, and here's your footprints, and here's where you sat down, and here's where you weeded the weeds. Yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling on, but you get my point. So no. Nope. I think they're just eating protein, no matter what form it is. I don't think they give a flying shit at all, from what I've seen and learned, and from what I've seen firsthand. They don't care. And on that note, too, it's not just them. There's wild animals that you would be very surprised at what wild apex predators will eat. It is absolutely nasty, and I've learned this on my own. I'm going to give you guys an example. Just so you know that, yes, when it comes to simple existing on the face of the planet, the majority of life doesn't really give too much of a shit what they eat compared to us. So I had a freezer, an old freezer, when I was living in the mountains. And I had it out back. away from the house, obviously. And I had another friend of mine who was an outfitter. An outfitter is someone who sells and books big game hunts. At the end of the spring bear season, he gave me a whole pile of bear meat, extra trimmings, etc. But I think by the end, I think I might have had 300 or 400 pounds of meat, and I threw it in that freezer without it plugged in intentionally. And I also added water. And when I come home from fishing on the coast, I'd throw my old herring, anchovies in there. I made the most nastiest, nuclear, disgusting substance I've ever firsthand witnessed in my life. By the time, so that was in spring, so I went spring, all summer, into the fall, and then the winter is when I cracked it open. And I was doing that to use as wolf bait. That shit was so nasty. If you had to put, at the time I remember telling my friends, I'm like, you put 2 drops of this in somebody's vehicle, it's done. You're going to have to light the vehicle on fire. You're not getting that scent out. I actually have video. I have old video of the day I had it on the toboggan behind my snowmobile taken into the woods, and I had rubber gloves on. I should have had a hazmat suit on. It was amazing. And I had white plastic 5-gallon buckets, and I filled those up with this snot, and it stained the plastic bucket almost a bright pink. Right? So you can imagine how nasty. Well, I don't know, a lot of people may not have first-hand knowledge in what a rotting carcass or rotting flesh smells like. Whew. Especially when it's in water. Oh my God. Have you ever dug up swamp muck from the bottom of a swamp and had a whiff of that? Well, throw a body in there for 6 months and then smell it. It's absolutely amazing. Anyway, so at the time, this is a long time ago, I was learning too. I was still learning and mastering my skills at how to successfully capture wolves. And believe me, I tried everything, but I eventually figured it out. But anyway, what I thought I would do was I would plant this stuff and bury it deep in the snow. I mean, I'm on top of 6-7 feet of snow anyway. And I had this one area where I had my big bait piles going on, and I was limited on bait. So I would take a 5-gallon bucket of this shit. I would dig a hole down about 3 or 4 feet deep in the snow, and I'd pour it down there, and then I'd fill it up with snow and pack it down again. And I did that over a course of an area around my baiting area. I must have made, 8 or 9 holes with this snot in there. And I also had trail cameras around as well. You are not going to guess in a million years what kept digging up all those piles and ate every single bit of it. You'll never guess in a million years. It was a very healthy, mature, female cougar. And her 3 cubs dug that nasty shit up and ate every last drop of it throughout the winter. What's up with that, right? Oh no, they only eat fresh meat, kill their own food. Yeah, no, they don't. So there you go. Not only cats, wolves, coyotes, bears. They all eat the most insanely nasty. I mean stuff that would make you gag for years. Protein. They don't give a flying shit. They eat it. So I'm just saying that and sharing that first-hand experience knowledge I gathered with all of you that may question whether or not these beings would eat a nasty, bloated up, rotten sheep, which I know they took, or a nasty, bloated up, stinking, rotten, 700-pound domestic hog, which I know they picked up and took away. Do I think they ate it? 110%. I know they ate that sucker. And I know it wasn't a bear, and I know it wasn't wolves. That's just for me, though. I know. You guys can take from what you will or leave it. What else? And those other guys, friend of mine was on a job site with, and they told him, and right in the bottom of the valley, right below where that guy got the picture of the face, where I dropped the hog, where somebody showed the being behind me looking at me while we were making video, they dropped an old rotten steer. in the open snow area down by the river. And something made that disappear in front of their trail cameras. Didn't catch it. 3 different trail cameras or 2, whatever it was. They had multiple. They had more than one trail camera on that steer. Gone. Gone. And no evidence of tracks in the snow of what took it. Nothing caught on trail cameras. As usual, I have zero faith in trail cameras when it comes to these mysteries you're trying to figure out. The steer was gone. Flick of a finger, gone. Just like the hog, gone. Just like the domestic sheep, bloated up and nasty, gone. Those 2 of those are firsthand from me that I witnessed, right? So, a little bit of a ramble, but informative, I hope. It helps a lot of you understand that, yes, is it possible that these beings are eating anything, any form of protein? I believe so. For me. Are they using it for fertilizer or growing their own gardens? I would probably bet the farm no. For me. But I've been wrong in the past. Who knows? Now, who's next? All right, today's emails are all recent as well, okay? There's nothing from the other folders in here today. Not yet. Important questions need answers. Agreed. That's the title of this email. Steve, my name is Rich. I shared my story through you about 2 years ago, encountering 3 sabe in 2018 in the Eagle River Valley in Colorado. The 3 sabe were a female about 8 or 9 feet tall, a male about 6, and a 5-foot tall sabe. Anyway, they played with me, pushing out of the valley, throwing rocks and screaming at me. This went on for about 2 miles or so until I was clear of the area. Their area. I went back to this area a month ago and seen the female who spoke to me in my head. This is going to sound strange. As told, said she remembers me and scared me like that, like they did, because people have endangered them in the past. She had a lot of gray and looked like she aged 100 years since my last encounter with her. She was by herself and looked to have a large wound on her left shoulder. It had a large, bald, circular scar 3 inches in diameter. I was very calm, as her demeanor was not threatening. I'm filling in the typos. No big deal, I got this. Sorry, I just lost my spot again. Why does it do that? I was very calm, as her demeanor was non-threatening. I asked her what happened to her, and she said she was shot by 2 men with rifles. She had no mobility, as her arm appeared to have no function, kind of just hanging there. That's the second time, take note, I've heard that description. I asked her what happened to the other sabe she was with. She said that they were killed by the men who had shot her. I asked her, could she show me where they were? She said that the men took them. I asked, how did 2 men take them? And she said that more men showed up and took them away. I asked her, why did she not hurt me since I had a rifle as well? She said that she knew I was not a threat to her. And she was right, because I went back to this area to see if they were still in the area. And I have had to overcome my fears that happened to me last time. Because I loved this area, I have not been in the woods since. It took about a week, and she appeared to me. I asked her how old she was, and she did not understand my question about age. I said she looked a lot older. She did not understand. Steve, my questions are, number 1, how old did the sabe get, as she looked like she aged a ton over the past 6 years? Number 2, not a question, more of a statement. There are a number of men in Colorado who have killed and took the other 2. Has anyone heard any stories of men from Colorado killing taking these two saw bait from this area, the Eagle River Valley. Number 3, how come they understand most of my questions and not others? This will be hard for some people to swallow, but it's true. And for those hunters come forward, since you have definitive proof of these people exist, since you have 2 bodies. Or if you buried them, make a burner email account and send the coordinates to Steve so they can be recovered. Most of all, I guess I'm really curious of their natural lifespan. Is it 50/100 years? More hundreds? As I simply have not heard anyone state how old they get. And the last thing is, she said the men who killed the other 2 were there for that reason. They had not just stumbled across them, but were there to kill them all of them. So they knew they were there in this area, Rich. Interesting email. Take from where you will leave it. I don't know, man, if that happened. I don't know. Did it happen? I've got a lot of people who I trust who say that there is definitely, absolutely is the answer I got, human beings going out of the way and killing these people. Do I know that firsthand? No, I don't. Like I said earlier, have I ran into somebody in British Columbia, one of my friends, which is many, who spend so much time in the woods is stupid. Have they ever ran across armed, odd-looking dudes? Never. Nobody that I know. Have I? Nope. So, the speech part. That sounds like a pretty fluid conversation. That's not very common. That's not very commonly mentioned here. Such a fluid answers and going back and forth. But when you did say they didn't understand your question, we have heard that they have words. Their words don't mean the same as ours. I think that was shared with us. A lot of their words don't have the same meaning as ours. So, if this is legitimate, that might be a big factor in why they couldn't answer questions to you. If this is true, that you have this fluid conversation with this person. It's very confusing. You know what? Everything's very confusing to me as I'm trying to figure this shit out, and I'm going to figure it out. For some weird reason, this past couple months, I got this weird feeling in my gut that's telling me shit's coming to a head here pretty quick. But, for gathering the knowledge. But, one thing for me, how can simple human beings with simple weapons, which I think are simple because we've been using them for a few hundred years, rifles, how do they do it? I mean, okay, if there's technology available that these dark sons of bitches have, they can track down these beings that they refuse to acknowledge publicly. I mean, imagining it's going to be from the air, right? Whether it be helicopters, planes, something else, satellites, whatever. Okay, I could accept that. I could see that going down. But for a simple group of men on foot getting out of a vehicle with rifles and successfully shooting one of these people, at this stage of the game, with the knowledge that I've gathered, that's a pretty tough one for me to swallow as legitimate. That just doesn't add up or remotely make any kind of sense to me. When it is basically, I've heard enough testimony and seen and possibly had enough experience myself. I mean, it's a very common thing to be shared. Quote, they know your intentions before you even get out of your vehicle. End quote. Right? Somebody I know, finally, has had communication with some type of being out in the forest just over here, and said that they were answering questions in his head the second he thought them. Right? So when you've got that kind of skill, and you can use that on human beings at will, how the F do you get shot by one of these human beings that get out of a vehicle with a simple rifle? Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up to me anyway. I got a tough time. I got a tough time accepting that as being legit. I'm not saying nobody's killing these people. I'm just saying a simple human being, which I consider myself a simple human being, driving into the woods, absolutely focused on, I'm going to blow away a whole family of these suckers when I see them. And then pulling it off with a rifle on foot. It doesn't, I don't think so. We can't even get, we can't even get them on a frickin' trail camera. How are you going to get them in the sights of your primitive rifle scope? Lots of people have. Darren has had one in a scope, and that's another thing too on the mention of the aging, where you mentioned this being an aged a shit pile. And I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying my thought reaction to the statements made in your email. When you said that the being had aged a lot, well, right away I thought about what Darren saw. Darren saw that being British Columbia coastal mountains near where I lived for the last 18 years. Broad daylight, get up right below him in the bottom of that slide while he was hunting. Got up, thought it was a grizzly bear, but then started walking away on 2 feet looking back at him. And he said its eyes were locked on his eyeball through his scope, basically looking right into his brain, was the description in a way. And he said that the look on his face was old, weathered, and tired. So, you saying it aged a lot. I guess you would age a lot, wouldn't you? Really, if they're whoever, whatever it is that's running around in the woods eluding us, obviously that's going to be really, really stressful, right? You know, stress ages the living shit out of your ass, right? So, yeah, living out in the wilds, the wind, the elements, stressed out, somebody's potentially trying to kill you. What is trying to kill you altogether? You know what I mean? That's good. That would make any one of us age a million billion years. I know I can look pretty freaking rough when I get out. By the end of hunting season, I look like I'm 90 years old, that's for sure. And that's just from running around for a handful of months. But anyway, I'm babbling. Interesting, right? That's very interesting. You should try to, if you can, I don't know, if this is really going down, if you can, see if you can't maybe possibly go get some more questions answered. Wouldn't that be handy? That's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm looking to do. Moving along. Yeah. You know, I've said it since day one. I've said it since way before I spoke publicly on this topic online. I always knew, and I told people all the time, especially people that rolled their eyes. I said, you want to see one of these people? You're going to have to go into the woods unarmed and hang out. I knew that. I knew that a long time ago, and I still know that today, and I guess I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I still need to hear a little bit more from a couple other people who I absolutely believe have had this experience of being in absolute contact, touched by them, physically touched. And but obviously I need to talk to this other man again in detail of what he went through to, what he mentioned was, lose the tagging thing that he has had most of his life. Right? I don't need to be tagged. I guess I probably am in a way. Who knows? But I don't need to be... I'm always very, very conscious when I go in the woods. I've been saying for how many years now, nonstop, leave me alone. I don't give a shit about you. I don't want nothing to do with your ass. Leave me alone. I'm here to fish. I'm here to hunt. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. Just leave me alone. And it seems to be working. Now, what am I potentially going to cut loose if I go into the woods? All right, I got nothing with me. You see that? You know that. I'm coming in. Here I am. Now, is that the thing where the people say is you're giving permission and opening up that door that you can't close? And then if I did open up that door and it turns out I regret it immensely, does that mean I have to save up money to fly to South America to get some shaman to fix it for me? I guess that could be a crazy experience too, and share with all of you as well, right? Anyway, there you go. I'm going to get moving on this note. I got a lot of stuff that I have to do. I have to go, what do I got? One more day here. And then it's like, get beat up on the water time. I'll probably be taking my boat to go to where I'm going to hike into the woods as well. So I don't have to come home before I go do that. What else? Here's another question. Here's a curiosity. Maybe I'll make a poll on the community page. I'm interested. I wonder how many people that follow this channel would doubt my first-hand testimony of reporting to all you exactly what I hear and see after I go into the woods unarmed and stay overnight where I know these beings are. I wonder how many people would find me as a legitimate source for knowledge to deliver here. You know what I mean? It sucks in a way, our distrust of each other that we've all been conditioned to have. It really sucks, right? Our sense of community has been absolutely destroyed across the board for the most part. Mainstream-ish. Right? It sucks. It sucks. But I hope, well, whatever. Take from what you will or leave it. But I would hope that when I do come back from doing what I'm going to do, if something significant happens, if some kind of enlightenment or a knowledge drop just dumps on my ass, then I instantly, obviously, I'm going to share every single thing with all you. I hope that the majority of the people here know that it really happened. Do you know what I mean? It really happened. I hope so, because we need to be we really need to trust each other, right? We really need to trust each other. I'm trying to bring back. Listen to the people, man. Give the people a voice. Kick all the other pieces of shit to the side. I don't need to be listened to. I don't need attention. I don't need people to come here and subscribe. I don't need it. I just don't. So I hope that is a factor that shows the people who do sit at the same table as me that what I'm about to possibly learn is really went down. All right? Because I believe that's the only way we're going to get ahead. And the only way a lot of people are going to be able to put a bunch of shit to rest for themselves, you know? I'm rambling, babbling. Now what? What do I got to do now? Side note, I'm done reading emails, you guys. Sarah's Tahoe, the insurance company, wrote it off. Which kind of sucks. She was hoping to sell it. And I guess the average price for her vehicle is around $20,000, $18,000, and it looks like they're only going to give her about $8,000. Fuck. Pricks. So she had these real nice rims and tires on it. And I said, hey, and we got these nasty winter ones sitting here and it's in the yard over there. And I said, hey, find out if we can take those rims. And at least you can maybe sell those for $1,500 or something and get a little bit of money back. So anyways, I'm babbling. That's what I'm going to go do now. I'm going to go rip over there. She got permission, which I wasn't really too concerned about. And we're going to go, I got to pack my floor jack and all my shit in the truck, whip over there and at least get those rims back. She can sell those and salvage a couple more dollars. And in the meantime, we bought this little Mazda car from a lot the other day for $5,000. And then to keep her mobile. Anyway, I'm really rambling here, aren't I? So that's what I'm going to do next. And then what am I going to do? I don't know. I got a whole big long list. Anyway, make sure you share your knowledge here. Anywhere. I don't give a shit where. But if you want to share it with the people through me, email me at sharemystory@howtohunt.com. And the link for that email is in the description below. There, that was smooth. Sarah's decals. Those suckers are creeping around the globe. Isn't that amazing? It'll really be a physical example of just how many people know and how common it is once you see all these decals ripping around your hometown. Right? How crazy is that? It's pretty cool. So anyways, the link for those is in the description below. And that's in her store. And she's got her hats and stuff for there. And she's got What'd she say? The black camo hats? She's got a bunch of those in there. So if you want one of the black camo hats, Darren actually has that black camo hat on in his video. If you want one of those, they're there. She got a whole bunch of them. Maybe I'll talk her into putting a sale on there or something and get them all cleaned out. Whatever. Rambling, babbling. Have a great day, you guys. And be honest, be kind. Form community around you again, all right? Create community. Start trusting each other and having each other's back. And share your honest knowledge no matter how frickin' crazy you think it is. It's not. So just get it out publicly, all right? You may not think so, but somebody is going to benefit from your truth, including me. All right? All right, there we go. I'm out of here.